What's up, guys? We're the Sports Addicts podcast, and we're back with another video. Today, we're going to be previewing some of the NBA awards for the 2020 season. So Joel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the list of the awards that we're going to be going over today include the most valuable player, rookie of the year, sixth man of the year, defensive player of the year, most improved, coach of the year, and executive of the year. Let's start off with the most important one, most valuable player. Preetham, who do you have winning the MVP award?
Yeah, for the MVP, I think it's going to be Giannis, even though I kind of want LeBron to win it. But yeah, I would take Giannis for MVP.
I actually think that LeBron is going to win because Giannis, he's played amazing this year. He's been putting up great stats while only playing 30 minutes a game. But I feel like the thing that people forget about the Lakers is that the Lakers' depth is actually pretty bad. It's just LeBron and Anthony Davis, and then if you compare the Lakers' depth to the Bucks' depth, it's nothing. And I feel like LeBron does not get enough credit for how good the Lakers are this year. This guy, he's almost averaging a triple-double, 25.7 points a game, almost 8 rebounds a game, and he's the league's leader in assists, 10.6 assists a game, while shooting at almost a 50% clip from the field goal line. If anything, I really think that he deserves this award because the Lakers are the number one seed in the West, and that includes teams such as the Clippers, who have Kawhi, Paul George, who probably the best bench in the league. They also have the Nuggets, who are one of the more well-rounded teams in the league, and you have the Rockets. So I feel that LeBron will win the thing because I feel like the guys that vote, they know what LeBron has been able to do this season, and they know how tough of a task it is getting the Lakers to that number one seed.
Yeah, I think LeBron deserves it, but if you just look at the stats, Giannis is pretty much far and away better because he's averaging more points per game in fewer number of minutes per game. His defenses are better. I think LeBron's has taken more on his shoulders in terms of intangibles, like the pressure of getting a championship for the Lakers, the pressure of carrying the team when he only has one other All-Star to play with. But in 57 games or whatever it's been, he just hasn't had enough games to prove that he's better than Giannis, which is why
I feel like the depth argument for LeBron, like as you said, even though he hasn't played better than Giannis, I feel like the depth argument is kind of like BS at this point because I feel like their players have actually outperformed what people see them as. Like Avery Bradley's been really good this season, even though he isn't playing the bubble. And then Rajon Rondo, he's still really commendable backup point guard. And Dwight Howard's having a great he's a candidate for sixth man of the year as well. So
yeah, but none of these guys are like a consistent scoring presence. Like the Bucks bench, they have guys like George Hill. Pat Connaughton, they have guys like that can they consistently.
Pat Connaughton isn't scoring threat.
I'm just they have the rookie Dante
DiVincenzo.
How do you say this? Yeah, he's actually been playing amazing this season. They have the Bucks depth compared to the Lakers, or say the Clippers depth compared to the Lakers.
We're not arguing that Lakers depth is worse, but the point is their depth I feel like is just underrated in my opinion. Like Danny Green, he's a good role player. He's been great in the playoffs for the past two teams he's played for the Spurs and the Raptors. And then JaVale McGee's still a commendable center if you look at him. He can shot block, he can go catch lobs, he can just do what a center needs to do. And I feel like Anthony Davis obviously is still a superstar in this league, and I feel like LeBron just has enough depth to where he's not really carrying the team on his back.
Yeah, and if you look at the stats, right, Giannis's numbers are better than they were last year when he won the MVP.
Exactly.
Averaging 2 more points per game in 2 minutes less, averaging more rebounds. And they have the best record in the league by far. So I think that's the reason why they're going to win it. If the MVP conversation included the bubble games, then the narrative might be a different story. But just looking at the games that we played up till the hiatus, I think Giannis wins it.
Well, yeah. I mean, whoever wins, they both definitely deserve it. They're both great players. And moving on to the next award, it's the Rookie of the Year. And I think this one's pretty obvious. It's Ja Morant. Zion hasn't played enough games to qualify, and no other rookie has been at Morant's level.
Yeah, I think if we just look at the quality of games, it's obviously Zion. He's impacted his team much more than Ja. But if we just look at the number of games, right, throughout the season, Zion has not played nearly enough games to be in the conversation, which is why it's a pretty much slam dunk pick of Ja Morant.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that if the bubble wasn't included, I think Zion would take it. I feel like Zion's impact has just been really important for the Pelicans. You can see they were like a bottom dweller in the Western Conference before Zion started playing. So now with Zion and Brandon Ingram, they have a shot at the playoffs. So if the bubble was included, I feel like Zion would take it, but since it's not, I'm pretty sure it's a clear-cut Ja Morant victory.
Yeah, Ja Morant had a great season, and he's probably going to run away with the Rookie of the Year award. And moving on to our next award, it's the Sixth Man of the Year award. So who do you guys have winning that award?
I think it's Lou Williams again. He's just been a great presence. When Kawhi Leonard can't play on back-to-backs, when Paul George was injured in the beginning of the year, he's just been, as they say, a walking bucket. He's averaged 18.7 points points per game off the bench. He's facilitated the offense very well, and yeah, I think he's a Sixth Man of the Year.
I definitely agree with your point. It's always Lou Williams' award to take, but I feel like the presence of Montrezl Harrell, it sort of takes away from his conversation because both of those guys are in the running for the Sixth Man of the Year award. And if I were to choose a Sixth Man of the Year, it'd be Dennis Schroeder. This Thunder team has significantly outperformed their expectations. No one expected them to be this good, and we can say that the large credit goes to Dennis Schroeder because that five-man lineup of Schroeder, Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, and Steven Adams, it's been amazing. They always using crunch time, and I feel like Schroeder's basically been a Lou Williams. He's been a steady presence off the bench, and I feel like Schroeder is going to get the recognition that he deserves and win Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah, I agree with Dennis Schroeder as well. I have him winning it, but I feel like a guy that can't be forgotten in the six-man conversation. I feel like it is Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's having rejuvenation for his career in LA, and I feel like this year with LeBron and AD like on by his side, he doesn't have to be like the first option like he was in Orlando, and now he's becoming like a good six-man option for the team. I feel like in the bubble, even though it doesn't count for Six-Man of the Year award, I feel like he's going to be a big impact for them.
Yeah, no one's taking away from Howard's accomplishments, but if you compare his stats to Lou Williams and Dennis Schroeder's stats or Montrezl Harrell's stats, they're just not comparable. Schroeder's averaging 19. Yeah, I mean, he's played amazing. He's come off the bench, steady presence, getting the boards, getting the blocks, but he doesn't have as big as an impact as Lou Williams, Schroeder, or Harrell. So I think it's either Schroeder or Williams that's going to win the Sixth Man of the Year award.
Yeah, I think I agree with that as well.
And now an interesting award this year, Defensive Player of the Year award. So one thing to note, if Giannis Antetokounmpo, he wins the Defensive Player of the Year award and he wins the MVP award, he'll be one of the three players to do that. And I think that's a significant feat considering that that list includes Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. So I think Giannis is my pick for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy one. The nearest competitor would probably be Anthony Davis, but I think Giannis he leads the league in defensive win share. Ability to guard multiple positions is what the most important thing for when you're looking at Defensive Player of the Year, and his ability to do that is why he should win the award.
Yeah, I agree. I think Giannis is going to win it, but I feel like another guy who hasn't been recognized enough this year for his great defense. He's been a great defensive player in the past. Rudy Gobert, obviously, he's won the award a couple of times. I think he won last year as well. So I feel like Rudy Gobert this year, he's still been a really big force. And even though he's the reason there was a hiatus in the NBA, I feel like Rudy Gobert still should be mentioned in the talk.
Yeah, but Giannis, Rudy Gobert, he's a rim protector only, and Giannis, he can guard any position. He can be a rim protector. He can guard the perimeter, everything. He's as versatile as it comes, and I think he should be a clear-cut favorite to win this award.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference because Gobert is really good in the post, and under the rim, but guarding, big, smaller guards that are smaller but more agile is not something that he's good at, but Giannis is, which is why Giannis probably deserves it.
Yeah, moving on to our next award, it's the Most Improved Player of the Year award. So who do you have winning that?
In my opinion, this is an easy one. It's got to be Jason Tatum. I mean, this season, he's come along, especially in the second half. He's put up outstanding numbers. After the Celtics lost Kyrie Irving, they needed some guy to come in and really step forward to be their number one guy, and Jason Tatum has been exactly that. He's averaged 24 points a game. I think the biggest thing is his three-point shooting. He's shooting almost 40% from three, which is absurd. He's been their go-to guy. As I said, 24 points a game, up from 15.7 last year, which is 8 points more. And he's just been effective. He's just in that clutch moments when you need the basket. He's put it in, and I think he's the most improved player.
I think you're forgetting about Brandon Ingram. I mean, he was an afterthought in the Anthony Davis trade, but he's had just as good of a jump as Tatum has. his points per game average. His previous career high was 18.3. Now it's at 24.2. He's shooting at 46%. He's been rebounding and assisting. He's been rebounding the ball well and passing the ball well. He took the leap to start in this year, whether it be improving his 3-point shot significantly improved this year, and you could just throw the ball up to him and he'll score at ease. He's sort of living up to the Durant reputation that he was the Durant type of player he was supposed to be coming out of college.
Yeah, so those two are good candidates, but I think the clear-cut winner this year has to be Bam Adebayo. I feel like Bam Adebayo this year, he's taken the biggest leap out of everyone, and his impact on the Miami Heat, along with the addition of Jimmy Butler, is just like second to none. I feel like Bam Adebayo obviously was an All-Star this year. I feel like he has to be the favorite because he's been now a top 3 passing big man in this league, behind Nikola Jokic. I feel like Bam Adebayo, with his passing, his rebounding, his defense on Giannis this year has been absolutely incredible, which is a big reason why I have the Miami Heat actually beating the Bucks in the second round if they face off. So I think it's going to be Bam Adebayo.
Well, the reason why I think it's Jason Tatum is because if you look at who Ingram and Adebayo had to play actually got this season, right? The Bam Adebayo had Jimmy Butler, who's by far the best player in the Heat, to help him, and that's why his game grew. For Brandon Ingram, he had a great facilitator in Lonzo Ball, and now Zion Williamson in the second half of the season. But who did Jason?
Yeah, but if you look at the Celtics supporting
cast,
it's way better than the Heat supporting cast.
Hayward, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, Enes Kanter.
Yeah, those guys are good, but I mean, Jason Tatum is.
What do you mean they're all stars? Kemba Walker, I think, was a starter this year. Kemba Walker, I'm pretty sure he's better than Jimmy Butler. Well, he's not better than Jimmy Butler, but he's on par with Jimmy Butler.
No way.
Opinion. I feel like
he's not better than
Jimmy Butler. Is miles ahead of.
He's way better.
No, if you look at it, not on the defensive side, but if you look at the offensive impact with Jason Tatum, obviously he's more of an offensive player than he is a defensive player. I feel like Kemba Walker has a big impact on him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all 3 of those candidates are deserving, but I'm going to list 2 more candidates that I think also merit consideration. Pascal Siakam, he already won it last year, but then he took another leap this year. He played like a superstar, and now you have Domantas Sabonis. He also took another leap. He made the All-Star team first time.
Another guy is Luka Doncic, obviously. He's played like a top 5 player this year. He wasn't that last. He was really good last year. He still averaged 20 points per game, but this year he's just been on another level.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many deserving candidates for Most Improved Player of the Year, and it'll be fun to see who wins that award. And going to our second last award, NBA Coach of the Year. I have Nick Nurse winning this award. I think it's not even a debate. It's Nurse all the way. So what do you guys think?
I think that's a fair point. I think Nick Nurse has done a lot. No one expected them to be as high as they are in the standings after they lost Kawhi Leonard. But my pick was actually Frank Vogel. I think he's not gotten enough credit for what he's done with the Lakers. You know, they brought in Anthony Davis, a bunch of new players. Nearly half their roster are free agent pickups during the middle of the season, and they hit the road running. After that first loss on the first day to the Clippers, they basically led the Western Conference for the entire season until the hiatus. And he had LeBron James, but there's also some coaching that's involved in trying to bring those three other guys besides Davis and LeBron James to the Western Conference.
Yeah, so I completely agree with what you said about Frank Vogel. I think he deserves to win it. I feel like Nick Nurse has a great shot because he obviously lost Kawhi Leonard and he's still at the top of the Eastern Conference. I feel like another guy who should be mentioned is, even though he's definitely not going to win it, I think the Grizzlies coach this year has a good shot of winning it, and Eric Spoelstra as well as the Miami Heat coach. Miami obviously wasn't projected as like a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, and depending on if Nick Nurse and Frank Vogel weren't that great this year, I feel like Eric Spoelstra would be at the top of the list for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, the reason I have Nick Nurse winning it is that he really doesn't have a star player. Vogel has LeBron. You have Spoelstra. He had Jimmy Butler, who's still a star. No one really expected Siakam to be as good as he is. And Kyle Lowry, he's not really a star at this point in his career. What Nick Nurse has done with that team that was ravaged by injuries, not to mention you had Gasol getting injured and Bleak getting injured. Siakam was also injured. Serge Ibaka played really good. Basically, everyone on that Raptors team is playing incredible, and I think that he definitely should win the Coach of the Year award.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nick Nurse has pretty good shot, but I still strongly believe that Frank Vogel, with the job he's done, because he came in to the coach as the Lakers. He came in as a guy who is probably going to leave after this year, and I think they brought in Jason Kidd as like the head coach as well. So as the assistant coach. Sorry, I thought he was going to take over at the end of this year. And now he made the case to Frank Vogel has made the case to stay as head coach for the Lakers for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
thing about Frank Vogel, I think just one more thing is that his job is kind of, if you do bad, if you lose, all the blame comes on you. But if you do well, the blame will just, I mean, the praise will go to LeBron and AD. Is his
Exactly.
right, and that's why I think he deserves his Coach of the Year award, because he's really not got enough credit for, I mean, meshing the guys together. They never had a clear number 3 guy. Kyle Kuzma was supposed to be that, but he didn't really step up to it. And the ability to bring in guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. Those guys were not expected to be big contributors, but he's able to put them in and really contribute to bring them to the top of the Western Conference.
Oh yeah, both of those guys are very deserving candidates. And now moving on to our last award that we're going to go over, the NBA Basketball Executive of the Year. So who do you guys have taken that award?
Okay, yeah. So I'll go first, I guess. So I have actually Pat Riley winning the award. I feel like he's been a guy who hasn't really been talked a lot about in this award category. I feel like he brought in a lot of players. Like he drafted really well this year, the past offseason, with Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero, who've been a huge part of Miami's success. He made a great trade deadline move to get Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder from the Memphis Grizzlies. So I feel like he obviously brought in Jimmy Butler from the Philadelphia 76ers on a max contract. So I feel like he really does deserve the Executive of the Year award.
I think it's Sam Presti. What he did with that Thunder team, he traded Russell Westbrook, and everyone thought this was a rebuilding year. And now they're the 4th or 5th seed. He got Chris Paul, All-Star. Neil Gallinari has been playing amazing. Schroeder might be the 6th man of the year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took a huge leap. And not to forget, I think the Thunder have 6 first-round picks in like the next few years. He has all the assets, and I feel like the Thunder are the number 1 team. They're the best setup for the future. And what Presti has done with this organization after Durant left, after Westbrook left, he definitely deserves this award, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair to say that Presti did all that, but I feel like not enough credit goes to Billy Donovan. I feel like he was really put on as a bad coach after Durant left, and I feel like everyone criticized him, and because everyone thought that Durant left because of him, which is pretty much not the case now. You can see that this team is really gelling really well with Chris Paul leading the way, and I feel like most of the credit should go to Sam Presti, but I feel like a lot of the credit should be taken away by Billy Donovan, because he made these players who they are. Like if you see the players on paper, they aren't as really that good. Like if you look at their bench, pretty much is Dennis Schroeder and nobody else. You look at their starting lineup, they still don't have a real small forward. So I feel like the Thunder, most of the credit should go to Billy Donovan. He obviously also another guy we forgot to mention as a Coach of the Year, but Billy Donovan has a good shot at it as well.
I think the Exec of the Year should be Lawrence Frank. Yes, he may not have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George would have came to Los Angeles to the Clippers, regardless if he was a executive or not. But what he put around them is why he deserves to be the Executive of the Year. Yes, he didn't bring in all those guys this season, but how did they set up their team in comparison to the Lakers, for example, who have 2 stars, 2 great players also, but their surrounding supporting cast is not as good compared to the Clippers. I mean, they got Lou Williams, Landry Shamet, Montrezl Harrell. I mean, they got 3 really solid players that are really can supplement the 2 main guys in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, which is why I think they're the title favorites, because they have more outside of the top 2 than the Lakers.
Yeah, I think all 3 of them are really good candidates, and I feel like the Clippers one, I feel like it is a little bit more, farther from reality. I feel like the Clippers, they already had the pieces in place, and they just needed the 2 superstars, and I feel like those 2 superstars alone, I don't think that's enough to win Executive of the Year.
Yeah, but I mean, this is where we have to give credit to what he did, even though it wasn't this year. Who he had, I mean, the prices that they're paying for those guys is why he deserves the award.
Yeah, definitely. All 3 of these guys are deserving. All 3 of these guys made their teams this year have they've performed, either lived up to the expectations in the case of the Clippers, or they've overperformed Sam Presti in the Miami Heat or the OKC Thunder's case. But it'll be fun to see who wins all these awards. And that's gonna do it for this NBA awards segment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.